E aí, rapaziada, beleza? Será que eu vou continuar a campanha de jogo Come Deliverance. Esse já é o episódio 6. Ter saído. Tá, encontrar o bandido Neuhoff. Espero que eu vou ter que ver se tenho comida. Ah, eu tô sem sapato, eu acho. Tem que comprar um depois.
Wait a moment. You're him, right? The boy from college?
What do you want here?
I have to eat something. My insides are shriveled up with the hunger.
Pior que eu acho que não tem armeiros.
Wait, I need to talk to you.
Esse parece não está com fome ainda.
Hey, wait a moment.
That sounded like...
Terá só por comer comida. Ah, qual é essa aí que vai bugar aí? Deixa eu ver onde que tem o armeiro. Nossa, tem embaixo aqui.
Yeah. Yeah.
Deixa eu acampamento aqui.
Hei, miksi nä... Hippemlaatu! Näkyy tomulottaa. Sensiigi. Ajato! Älä
Yeah.
Acho que não deve ser da missão, não, nem marcou. Objetivo atualizado.
Good God. What happened to your clothes? If you were robbed, you should report it.
I'm looking for a fellow who lives here, but I don't know his name. Do you know anyone with a limp?
There is one. A crooked bastard he is, too. I hope you're here to take him away. He lives in a cottage at the end of the village by the road to Rete. Take care.
Yeah.
Essa casa aqui. Parece que tem sapato.
Move along, citizens. Move along. There's nothing to see here.
That's what you call nothing to see. I'd like to know what something to see looks like.
By the keys of St. Peter, this is all I need. We'll have to send word to Sir Hanush.
That might not be necessary.
Who are you?
I'm Henry of Skalitz, in the service of Hanush's Captain Bernard. I'm investigating the attack at Neuhof, and I think this could be related.
Well, I'm the bailiff of Auschwitz. And I say we don't want any of that kind of trouble around here. What makes you think this has anything to do with Neuhof?
One of the folk at the stud farm recognized someone from Auschwitz among the bandits.
We have no bandits or murderers around here.
Really? They say he had a limp?
Shit. Well, allow me to introduce you to Limpy Lubosh. Or all that's left of him.
Nice.
Sakra.
Nothing's ever easy. I'll have to take a look around and ask a few more questions, if that's all right with you.
You can take this mess off my hands and welcome to it. As for what else there is to find out, I don't know. But look and ask all you like.
When did you find the body? And did anyone see anything?
Just now. And nobody saw or heard anything. I don't know how they could gut him like that without someone hearing him scream.
Who was Limpy Lubosh?
A poor crofter and a scoundrel. Can't say I'm too surprised what happened to him. He kept company with all sorts of vermin. He was always getting into some kind of trouble. Punch-ups in the tavern and what have you.
Has he been up to anything suspicious lately?
I don't know. The last few days he didn't go anywhere. He was home the whole time. But he always kept everyone in the village at arm's length.
Did he have any kith or kin in the village?
None. A loner he was. I don't know the last time I saw him with anyone.
Do you happen to know where he was on the night of the Neuhof raid?
I've no idea. He kept his distance from other folk, so you never knew if he was away or holed up at home.
Another thing about Lubosh. How come he limped?
He got that from some villainy or brawl a long time ago.
Descobri mais sobre Lubosh.
My respects to you.
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
Of course. Ask away.
That man Lubosh who was murdered, what was he like?
He was a drunk who was always looking for a fight. Nobody liked him much, but I wouldn't wish an end like that on any man.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
Well, now I think of it, I haven't seen him around for a while. No idea.
Não,
where
mas
he
pô,
was
que é isso,
stalking.
será?
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhof was raided?
Not a clue.
Do you know anyone Lubosh used to spend time with? Relatives or friends?
He was a loner. He didn't even have any mates in the tavern.
That's all. Thank you.
Jesus Christ be praised.
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa.
Sir Hanush gives a job like that to a young fellow.
That man Lubosh who was murdered.
He was a strange one. Always drinking.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
I didn't see much of him.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhof was raided?
I don't think he was home at all. Wait.
Do you know anyone Lubosh used to spend time?
I really don't know.
That's all.
Good luck to you.
Yeah.
Feirante.
The blessings of our good Lord be with you, Father. I'm here in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa, investigating the massacre at Neuhof, which seems to be connected to a murder here. Can I ask you a few questions?
It seems Sir Hanush is employing children as investigators. But ask as you wish, boy. I hope this nasty business will be cleared up quickly.
Did you know Lubosh? What was he like?
Bit of a lost soul. Simple, rough fellow, but at heart I don't think he was such a bad person.
Did you notice anything suspicious recently?
My child, all sorts of suspicious things have been going on recently. People like Lubosh don't know what to do about it, and sometimes they do stupid things.
That's really not a lot of help to me, Father.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing on the day Neuhof was raided?
Unfortunately, I do know. And I'd like to help you with your investigation, but I can't.
What?
I'm bound by certain vows that forbid me to tell you.
Vows more important than catching dangerous murderers?
There are laws of God above the laws of man, son, and one of those is the sanctity of the confessional.
Deve haver exceções.
Father, surely you can't be serious. There must be situations in which you can make an exception.
There are things that apply always, no matter what the circumstances, and this is one of them.
But Lubosh is dead. You can't hurt him, but if you don't tell me, more innocent people may die.
If I told you, I would be betraying a vow that's a cornerstone of the Holy Church. If people believed the sanctity of the confessional couldn't be trusted, the consequences would be even worse than that.
Worse than the death of innocent Christians? Worse than the murderer escaping punishment?
No one escapes punishment.
Father, Lubosh was my only lead to the Neuhof raiders. Only he could tell me who was responsible for that massacre. If I don't find out who it was, it will probably happen again. Surely you wouldn't want that.
I wouldn't. But I can't betray the sanctity of the confessional. I'll tell you what. Give me some time and I'll try to think up some way of helping you. Suppose we talk it over in the evening. In the tavern. Over a cup of good wine. Maybe we'll come up with something.
All right. Thank you, Father.
Good luck to you.
Esperar de noite. Onde que é a taverna? Vai ter que. Deixa eu ver se dá pra fazer alguma missão.
Do you have any work that needs doing?
My dear lad, I have more worries than I can bear. Another pair of shoulders would ease my burden. I have to deal with a local witch.
A witch?
The herb woman, old Gertrude. That devious hag who will stoop to anything. Like all herbalists, for that matter.
Oh, don't tell me. The cows are giving blood instead of milk, and babies are being born with 2 heads and a tail.
This is no laughing matter. Gertrude isn't evil. She just has peculiar ideas about what's good for people. A little bird told me she incited some Ujet's women to witchery.
Não, acho que vou fazer a missão de acampamento. Matar a líder.
This isn't my kind of work.
Good luck to you.
Deixa eu ver onde que tinha missão. O que é que tá longe? Acho que vai dar tempo só de voltar. Vamos ver quem foi pagar.
I've taken care of the camp.
Where's the proof?
Here it is.
Oh,
Mas
that is a nice bit of news. I've had another report. Some folk were ambushed to the west of Retired, on a hill across the river from the gallows. It would be worthwhile to check it
consigo
out.
mais
Very well,
dinheiro
take a look.
Vendendo esse equipamento do que entrega no missão.
I have some trophies.
Let's see. Quite a collection.
140.
Can I ask? Thank you.
Onde que ele disse que tinha mais? Esse que tá longe. Deixa eu ver. Tem um quanto de moedas? 181. Tem mais equipamento aqui também para vender.
Yeah.
Acho que dá para comprar uma coraça se eu vender bonito.
Hey, why are you here? Ow!
16.
My respects. May the Lord watch over.
Eu nem sei o que estou usando. Duzentos e 18.
May the Lord watch over.
Pior que não dá pra ver que esse negócio na frente.
Take care now.
Não, 166. Vou ver se consigo pechinchar. Ah não, apertei em fechar o negócio. Não dá pra usar. Pernei o sapato.
Take care now. Farewell.
Como que faço para usar? Sapato. Acho que eu tinha que comprar um que tivesse sapato junto.
Take care now.
Pior que não dá pra comprar mais. Tem que usar assim mesmo. Acho que vai faltar ainda. 2, 3, 9. 240. 5, 6, 266. De qualquer jeito ainda ia ter que comprar a bota. Chegar às 21 horas.
blessings of our Lord be...
And with you, lad. Take a seat. I'm sorry I can't tell you everything, but maybe we can work something out. But first, I'd like to hear something about you, my son. With whom do I have the honor? Where are you from?
I'm from Skalitz.
Oh, I'm sorry. What about your kin?
Ja, confesso que só sacerdote.
They're dead.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Here, we'll drink to them. It must have been terrible.
It was terrible. It seemed so pointless. We had no warning. They just appeared and began the slaughter. God knows why. They killed anyone who didn't make it to the shelter of the castle. My parents, my girl, even the Deutsch who was on Sigismund's side. I didn't make it to the castle. I wanted to try and help my parents, but there was nothing I could do. Then I fled to Talmberg with the Cumans on my heels. They almost killed me. They slaughtered people in the surrounding villages. There was a pile of bodies in front of the church in Rovna. Folk who tried to take refuge there, but they...
My poor child. May God grant them eternal rest. And how did you come to get this assignment? I'd have expected Sir Hanish to send that old grouch, Bernard.
He did, but I found a witness and the trail led here to Ujit, so he sent me here to follow it up.
Ah, well, congratulations. It's nice to see someone using their head to find things out instead of torture. We'll have to drink to that. Now the most important thing. What actually happened at Noyo? The good folks hereabout are saying all kinds of terrible things, but I'd take most of it with a pinch of salt.
Just as you ordered.
The rumours aren't exaggerated this time, unfortunately. The Neuhof stud farm was raided by bandits, but they didn't come to pillage or even take the horses. They only wanted to kill. They maimed the horses and slaughtered some people. I'm sure they would have killed more, but the bandits quarrelled among themselves and broke off the attack. And judging by what's left of our Lubosh, they're still settling accounts.
I see it's every bit as bad as people claimed. Dreadful. Well then, here's to those poor souls who had to die so pointlessly and so terribly.
I've told you all about me. Now it's your turn, Father. You don't look much like our parish priest at home. Well, we've had an agreeable chat, but now let's get down to business. So, about this confessional seal. Do you really want more innocent people to die?
Henry, that's not how it works. There are matters in which you can't make exceptions because if you do it once, you'll forever be tempted to do it again. If people stop believing in the church because their confessional secrets are betrayed, they won't trust anyone, and that's worse than even the most hideous crime.
I understand, but that means I've reached a dead end. Those cutthroats will strike again and I can't stop them.
Chin up, lad. I might have a solution.
What?
If I tell you what Lubosh told me, I'd be betraying the confessional secret. But, first thing tomorrow, I'll try something I think might help you.
Word of honor?
On my soul.
I always wondered about the things a priest tells his congregation. Where on earth do you get the ideas for your sermons?
Well, Ujits isn't Prague. It's not enough to instruct people. They have to be entertained, too. If I only read from the Bible, I'd soon be preaching to an empty church.
Our priest wasn't exactly a bard. So what do you preach to your flock about?
It has to be something topical.
Nee,
Condemning vices. And of course describing people. Tongue lashing about the two popes goes down well these days. And stories from real life, with a nice moral to them, are popular as well. Especially if they're about fornication and similar scandalous vices.
Can you give me an example?
Well, recently a priest by the name of Jan Hus started preaching in Prague, in the Czech language, and the people liked it. I hear he always has a full house. A journeyman who heard him told me what Hus is preaching, and I like the sound of it. I'm thinking about putting it in my own repertoire.
What's so amazing about it?
The preaching of Master Jan Hus about Mother Church, the lamentable wealth in which the church is drowning has turned to poison, and nearly the whole of Christendom is contaminated. Just like a flock of hungry ravens, they settled on this land to devour every grain of gold and silver. They know no mercy. Their hearts are corrupted by longing for wealth, and they shamelessly profit from everything. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay and you will have absolution. What if the devil himself were to pay? Would he ascend to heaven too? With such money gained from the poor, they buy beautiful horses to ride and needless servants to pamper them. They gamble at dice and dress their whores in expensive furs, while Jesus Christ walked barefoot and had no place to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too. Amen.
Well, this Jan Hus character is quite a rebel.
Oh, the congregation will love it.
I don't doubt it.
Let's drink to that.
Funny. That last bit reminds me of someone.
What do you mean? My situation's completely different. Huth preaches against the prelates and the clerics who are robbing the poor. Look at me. I don't have a pot to piss in. I'm no better off than the folk I preach to. I'm one with them in poverty and suffering and everything that troubles them. I drink with them and curse those stuffed habits in Sasau monasteries.
Isso que é pregar contra a depravação.
Don't you think it's a bit odd when someone boozes and lives in sin with a woman and then criticises the Pope for debauchery?
No, I don't.
What do you think of this Jan Hus?
He's certainly a wise man. A little overzealous for my taste. If he got out of Prague and came here for a look, I'm sure he'd stop condemning drinking and lying with women.
Where can I find out more about his teachings?
You like it? I copied down some of his sermons. If you're interested, you can read them at my presbytery.
What do the common folk think of it?
They like it. They're happy to hear someone say what they think themselves, but are afraid to say aloud. Things that make them angry. And they're calling for change. In a few years, it'll have grown beyond control. You mark my words, the people will rise up, and the church will be shaken to its very foundations.
Yeah, unless they burn him at the stake first.
Nonsense. They can't burn a master of the most respected university in Europe.
Thanks for the sermon, but I think I've been morally uplifted enough. It's getting quite late. What are your plans, Father?
What do you suppose? We have a drink, of course.
Ah, that sounds like a good plan.
I knew you wouldn't let me down.
Przyszła bida mora lat, to nie ustoi żadnej chlap. Na kraj padł dziesięć smutek, dodnielo i rano utek, niech już małżeński majstak, do wczera żylne staje prak. Už sejmoj svatý muži, nechtěl bych bejbě jich kůži. Nám je to jedno a tak si dáme jedno a požadem si umí jako poslední den. Půjďme se bávit a do rána stávit a tak vypal sudy a posaď se mi sem. Tak posaď se sem a vypal je ven. Ukaž kozy jako vozy, zítra jen tu jsou nejdem, tak nalej mi hned, ať točí se svět.
Enough of this! Bailiff! Come on over here, sit down and have a drink with us.
Don't vex me again, Father. It's 3 hours past dusk, and curfew is long gone.
So what?
So, I'll have you all whipped and put in the stocks, and I'll write a letter to the bishop about you, priest.
Well, nothing to worry about then. Everyone knows the only one around here who can write is me.
Enough! Men, throw them out. Oh.
You looking for a fight? Henry, back me up.
I wonder what Teresa's doing now.
Come on then, bailiff. You want to fight? Come and get it. Don't worry.
Don't weak at their knees, yeah? Come on at last. Yippa!
Já foi.
Bastard! You'll get your penny.
Embaixo desarmado.
So, my dear, would you like to have a little ring on the bell? No sooner said than done.
I'd love to. And Henry, too, I'm sure. Right, Henry. Stop that nonsense, stop it. Are you out of your mind? What will people say?
They can say what they like. What do I care?
Here we are. Look at this beauty.
Oh. We can't do this, can we?
Who says? Get ringing, wench.
This is wonderful.
Ah, bloody oath. And now, my dears, comes the climax of the evening.
Godwin, you old goat.
Come here. Oh.
The priest has mounted up. What do you say, Henry? Shall we take a little ride of our own?
Oh, Pat. Parece não está bêbado ainda.
Well, I have to say that was a fine evening.
Godwin, you beast. Get up. Do you hear me? Wake up, you drunkards.
Oh, fucking hell. Where the... Oh, what the... Oh, who the hell are you? Oh, Henry. My great friend, Henry. Didn't we have a wonderful time?
Well, you certainly did, you old lecher. Now you better pull yourself together quick. You haven't much time. There's some water and something to eat on the table there, but if I were you, I would move my hairy arse before my flock eats me alive.
Oh, step on in my head. My guts. My poor suffering stomach. What was that woman on about? Wait, before my flock eats me alive. I've forgotten something. What have I forgotten?
Where the fuck am I?
What the fuck was it? Mass! Oh shit, I have to say mass. I gotta say mass. You have to help me.
How? You're the priest.
I can't do it in this state. Maybe the liturgy. But I have to give a sermon as well. Oh, this is a disaster. They're gonna excommunicate me. I'd like to help you, but you can. You can do the sermon for me.
What? So, first I investigate a murder no one wants investigated. Then I drunkenly keep the whole town up all night. And now you want me to preach at them from the pulpit? Do you want them to burn us at the stake?
No. No, I've got it. Suppose that Sir Ratzig's protege. You just came from studying in Prague. And you want to share the words of Master Jan Hus, who you recently heard preaching there. Henry, look. From what I remember, we might have overdone it a bit last night. And if the bailiff or someone else complains about me, the bishop's gonna have my guts for garters. So I'd appreciate it. Stop gaping at me like a stuffed squirrel and start helping.
You're mad. You're stark raving mad.
I'm not. It's a perfect plan. It's flawless. Oh. How about this? If you help me with this, I'll tell you who Lubosh's cronies are.
Well, all right. I can't make any promises about what'll happen.
No, neither can I.
What do you want me to do exactly?
I'll go and start the liturgy. Then I'll introduce you. You give the sermon I told you yesterday in the tavern, and that's that. No need to drag it out. If it turns out well, I'll tell you what I know about Lubosh.
Christ almighty. Fine then. We have a deal.
Wonderful. Let's get to it then.
Desequipou tudo. Que azar. Reputação perdida.
I thought he'd never show up. The swimp.
Look at him. He can hardly walk after his capers last night.
You were with them, you beast. Just you wait.
Look at him. Mother of God, any minute now he'd throw up.
So I couldn't sleep a wink last night with all that clamor.
In nomine Patris, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Accepit panem in sanctas at venerabiles a manus suas. Hac facite in meam commemorationem. Brothers and sisters, you may have had the honor of meeting Henry from Skalitz, who is here at the behest of Sir Hanush to investigate that heinous crime at Neuhof. You might not know that Henry recently visited Prague, where, by the grace of God, was able to hear Master Jan Hus from the esteemed Charles University preaching. I've managed to persuade Henry to stand here today in my stead and tell us what he heard. Because, as you all probably know, Jan Hus is a very popular preacher in Prague. So, Henry, you may begin.
Now I'm curious which one of them will puke first.
Isso é o sermão com confiança.
Brothers and sisters, let me get straight to the point. I'd like to talk about the church and how corrupt it is.
That whelp wants to preach about the church.
Just as we are commanded to obey the priests in matters of virtue, so are we commanded to defy them face to face if they live contrary to God's commandments.
Hear that, Godwin?
It is the corruption of God's pastors here on earth that has brought misfortune on our heads. Plague, humans, hunger, and chaos. The accursed wealth that the church is drowning in is poisoning almost the whole of Christendom. When dogs are fighting over a bone, take the bone and they will stop. Just like the flock of ravens that has descended on this land to peck up every speck of gold and silver. They show no mercy. Their hearts are poisoned by covetousness. They trade everything. Everything is for sale. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay, and you will have absolution. And the prelates sin and give themselves absolution.
For shame! Shame upon them!
And what sins? They live with harlots and keep concubines, even though only marital intercourse for the purpose of procreation is pure. If someone takes a woman or man only to satisfy their own lust, who seduces them to do so but Satan? And how much darker the sin if that man is a servant of the church? Who can turn his face to God, who fornicates and then puts on priestly robes?
Nothing we don't know about already.
Enough about sin, which the prelates are so fond of preaching about, and whose absolution they promise if you only pay enough coin to Mother Church. What if the devil himself were to pay? Will the bishops tell us he too would ascend to heaven? And what about those bishops? They sin without remorse, and with the money grasped from the poor for indulgences, they keep fine horses and hordes of servants to pamper them. They play dice and garb their mistresses in expensive furs, while Christ, the Lamb of God, walked barefoot and had nowhere to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too.
Down with the prelates. Away with them.
We're fortunate to have our good father Godwin. At least he's a fair and simple man.
Então estás.
I say to you, in the words of Jan Hus, he who knows much, let him speak much. He who knows little, let him speak little. Let each speak as much as he knows. And he who knows nothing, let him at least teach his neighbour one virtuous deed by setting him good example and refraining from playing dice and from fornication. And that applies both to priests and to you, brothers and sisters.
That's his conclusion?
That is all I heard in Prague. Amen.
Have you no shame, you pair of buffoons? I'll be writing to the bishop of this. For shame.
Utterly blasphemous.
Can you believe such behavior? For men of the cloth to get drunk at
Não gostaram, não?
So, is our deal still on?
Are you pulling my fucking pizzle? I couldn't have done worse myself if I'd puked on the altar.
Well, I'm no preacher.
Yeah, I noticed. And I wasn't the only one.
You can't be serious. After all that?
All what? All you making a complete hash of my sermon? You were supposed to help, not get me into even more trouble. Now I'll have the bishop on my back and all the villagers. Just leave. I need to pull myself together.
And what am I supposed to do?
Find someone else to help you.
É. Procurar alguém que saiba subir o bucho coxo. É, não. Pior que não.
God bless. What can I help you with?
I've come in the name of Sir Hanish of Light.
I don't know how I can help you, but ask if...
Who was this Lubot?
You could see at first glance he was no good.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
There wasn't sight or sound of him for a long time. And then yesterday, he turned up at the church and even...
Do you know what Lubosh...
I don't think he was hung.
Do you know who Lub...
As far as I...
That's all.
God be with you.
They're with God now.
Aye, they are.
Look out. God be with you.
Godwin não me diz quem eram os amigos de Robush.
Godwin won't tell me who Lubosh's cronies were. I've reached a complete standstill.
Don't even mention that so-called priest. He knocked out one of my teeth yesterday, and you were there with him. I ought to clap you in the stocks.
I'll go willingly if you stick Godwin next to me. It'd be worth it just to see him suffer.
I can well imagine. I've already told you, nobody came here to see him. But now it occurs to me. I did hear he was tried in Rattay for some mischief or other. Maybe you can find out something there. The scribe might have made a record of it.
Thanks, bailiff. I never thought of that.
And let me give you another piece of advice. Don't go boozing with Godwin again. Goodbye.
Daqui em Rattay. Aproveita aí, acerta a armadura. Não dá para salvar.
I wouldn't beg good neighbors, but I'm reduced to this.
I am.
Fresh from the oven. Come and get them.
Vegetables, fruits, apples, cucumbers, onions, come get them.
My respect. May the Lord watch over you.
211. Não tem esse ainda. Não dá para consertar.
Farewell.
Não, parece que não. Isto deve ser nesse de roupa aqui.
I hope I can be. I'll be with you.
Sem dinheiro suficiente. Onde está escrito?
God be with you, good sir.
Tenho que olhar a crônica negra de rapaz.
I need to have a look in the Black Chronicle, Friedrich.
And I need blessed relief from my suffering. May the Lord have mercy.
Well, I don't know what I can do for you except bring you a priest.
I'm not dying yet. I just can't get up.
I'm sorry to hear that. But I'm on the trail of those killers from Neuhof, and I need to know the names of the men who were sentenced alongside Limpy Lubosch from Uzhitz.
I can't remember. Once I write the record down, it goes straight out of my head.
It's essential that I find out those names. Is there anything I can do to help you get back to work?
I can't go to work when I can't stand on my feet. Konyash the apothecary has an embrocation that helps, but it costs dearly. If you brought me some, it might do the trick.
All right, I'll try and get some for you.
Take care now.
Alinhamento.
Heavens, lad. You're looking bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Last time I saw you, I thought you were ready for the priest.
I'm feeling as good as new.
Well, I'm glad to hear it.
Ah, tenho uma dívida com ele.
Scribe Friedrich needs the embrocation for his joints.
What, again? He was here not long ago for some. He ought to make it last longer. I told him not to grease himself up so much. It could cause... Ah, the older he gets, the more foolish he is. Well, did he tell you such salvation is costly? Have a look in the shop for yourself.
De compra. $47.
Jesus Christ be praised.
Cadê o negócio?
My respects to you.
I bought you the embrocation, and you were right, it certainly wasn't cheap.
I know, lad. I've been using it for years.
Will you let me have a look at the Black Chronicle?
Well, you helped me, so now I'll help you. Come along and I'll show you our Black Chronicle.
That really is a miraculous ointment. You haven't even rubbed it on and it's already working.
You know how it is. Faith itself is the greatest healer. Just thinking about the relief it will bring makes me feel better. So don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Come along. Take care
Tá se
now.
sentindo melhor. Ué. Bugou o personagem.
Could you find something for me in that book? The thing is, I
Don't know how to read, do you? So what do you need to know?
I'm trying to track down those Neuhoff cutthroats, and I need to find out the names of any cronies of Limpy Lubosh from Ujitz.
Give me a while. May the Lord watch over you.
So did you find any mention of Limpy in the book?
I did. Apart from Lubosh, there's mention of some Anton from Vlashim and Hinek, known as Riki, from Ledechko.
Ledechko? That's a stone's throw from here.
Aye. Certainly closer than Vlashim.
Thanks for your help.
Thank you for that ointment. God be with you.
Salva o jogo.
Look out. What do you want here? Hop it or I'll call a guard.
Ah! Vegetables!
Ainda não descobri aqui o lugar. Isto deve dar para ir por esse lado.
Yeah.
Acho melhor voltar e pegar essa ponte. Por essa ponte.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Beco.
God save. How may I help you, good knight?
I'm looking for someone they call Riki.
That's the tanner's son, Enoch.
Where can I find him?
Hard to say. He's not around here much. Thank God for small blessings. You could try his folks' place.
What can you tell me about this Hinek?
What can I tell you? No, he's none too popular. No one cares to talk to him.
Why not?
Well, I'm not one to gossip, but I heard he keeps bad company.
What's the tanner like? Hinek's father.
The less I see of him, the better. He's not exactly sparkling company.
Why do they call him Riki anyway?
Why do you think? Because he's a tanner, of course.
So why don't people like him?
The old tanner's not an easy man. But a son should never let his father down. Enoch does nothing to help. He's always far too busy with his own affairs, though I wouldn't like to say what those are.
Mas deve haver alguém que converse com eles.
And does no one at all talk to him?
That harlot Adela hangs around with him, of course.
Harlot?
She works as a bathhouse wench. Same thing. Take care.
Good day to you. What do you need?
I'm looking for your son. Any idea where he might be?
I don't know nothing.
Don't you at least know where he usually goes? It's important.
Hynek shows up at home once in a blue moon, so I don't know nothing about where he gets to. Even if I did, why would I tell every Tom, Dick and Harry?
Your son is about to get into deep shit. I'm trying to find him so I can warn him.
That's nothing new. He's always up to his ears in it.
But this time his neck's on the block. He got mixed up with some very dangerous people. I have to find him.
All right.
Yes.
He was here a few days ago, but he left right away. He looked like he was in a hurry.
And you don't know where he went?
I've got an idea, but I don't know where it is exactly.
I don't follow.
Hynek makes some money on the side from poaching. He boasted to me a few times about what a great hideout he found in the woods, but he never told me where it is.
Well, it's not much to go on, but it's better than nothing. Thank you. Don't you have any clue at all where his hideout could be?
I really don't know nothing about that. I could tell when he'd come from there is all.
How's that?
Because every time he brought some hides for tanning and money.
What more do you know?
Nothing. I swear to God Almighty, I've said all I know. Hynek never told me nothing.
Você deve ter percebido algo.
I know he didn't talk to you about it, but you must have noticed something, right? How much time did he spend away? What was he wearing? How did he look when he came back? Anything?
Well, he came and went at all sorts of hours. I really don't know. Except maybe one thing. He'd come home scratched with brambles and with leaves and muck on him.
So he probably went through thick woods to get to that place.
I reckon. What do I know?
He had money because he sold the stuff right away.
I suppose. He never kept any of his loot here.
Do you know who he sold it to?
No. But the innkeeper came here now and again and gave him coin. Of course, it could have been for me.
All right. I'll ask at the inn then.
Go. And if he's really in as much shit as...
Deixa eu ver se tem algum ponto para gastar. Esforço e idade, vamos ver, não pode ser com grande montagem burguês. Acho que nem precisa aumentar este de peso, mas se aumentasse eu conseguir equipar mais equipamento. Só no nível 8 é isso. Quanto mais danificado tiver a espada, maior a chance de envenenar o oponente quando ela de atingir mesmo com mais veneno são armas. Uma boa chance de derramar o sangue do inimigo. Por meio de ataques rápidos, coloca o oponente na defensiva, Depois finja mais tocado, mas vejo executar, faço antes aqui, torno a espada por meio. Você veja que você tem esse muito mais suave, então você pode ver mais 2 vezes mais forte. Suas mãos terem 25% menos de habilidade com o superior, porém suas mãos terem 25% mais quando está sóbrio. O cavalo pode carregar mais, mas é mais lento. Não pode ser combinado com a vantagem de cavalo de corrida. Pega mais peso.
God save. How may I help you, good knight? Take care.
Não é nesse nem PC. É nesse.
Good day to you. What do you need?
I want to ask about the courier's son, Hinek.
Then ask someone else. I have nothing to do with Riki. He'd only drive my customers away.
Really? I heard a different story. I heard the two of you do business together.
Who are you, anyway?
A friend of Hinek's. He's gone missing and I need to find him.
I don't know where he is. But if you find the bastard, tell him he still owes me some goods.
Comprar de caçadores ilegais aqui.
I don't give a damn what deals you've been doing together. I won't tell anyone. I just need to know where Riki is. It's urgent.
What have our deals got to do with where he disappeared to?
More than you think. It's likely Riki is hiding out at his poaching lair. And believe me, it wasn't hard to find out who was buying game from him, and it's even easier to go to the castle and tell them. Poaching's a crime, after all.
I don't like being threatened. And I'm telling you for the last time, I don't know where he is.
About the goods Riki owes you.
What about it?
Well, supposing I settle the account for him and you stop dodging my questions and tell me what I want to know.
I suppose that would be all right.
How much is it?
Before he vanished, I paid him in advance for 5 heirs.
We can settle things right away. As it happens, I have some game with me.
Let's see it then.
Não, pois comem.
Have you got it or not?
I've got that game for you.
Splendid.
Você tem que entregar a carne direto.
Have you got it or not? Good luck to you.
Vou te perguntar a pergunta então.
God watch over you, good night, especially in these dark times. Can I do something for you?
I heard you've been seeing Hinek, the tanner's son.
So what? Come to preach at me, have you? That I'm a loose woman, a sinner, that I seduce decent men?
God, no, nothing like that. It's just that you're the only one in the village who sees Hinek, so I came to ask you about him.
Aye, I've seen him often enough. I don't know what I could tell you about him.
Quando foi a última vez que você o viu?
When did you last see him?
A few days ago. He came to me late in the evening, drunk.
And that was unusual?
I never saw him drink much. He always came to me sober.
So he was acting strangely that evening?
He was strange. I had the feeling he was afraid of something. He kept prattling on and didn't seem to care about you know what. So I threw him out and I haven't seen him since.
I found out that Hinek goes poaching in the woods and he's got a hideout there. What do you know about it? Don't worry. Hinek has much bigger problems than being caught poaching. And you're not involved in it anyway, are you?
No, I'm not. It's true he used to go hunting in the woods sometimes. When he came back, he'd usually come to me. That's all.
Em que direção ele foi quando partiu para o esconderijo?
Do you know what route he took? At least the general direction. Anything that could help me find his hideout.
I think he usually went through the woodcutter's camp. Because he always brought me freshly chopped firewood. And he had wood chips on his boots.
Good. So at least I know where to start.
Como você sabe que ele é floresta?
Can you remember anything he said that evening?
Oh, I'm not sure. He went on about some fellow called Lubosh who died. That he was regretting he ever got into it, but he never said what it was. And that it wasn't worth it for the money. Aye, and then he was talking about the money. That was very odd.
What did he say about the money?
Just that he had a pile of it hidden behind his house.
I see. What did you say to that?
What could I say? He was drunk. He kept saying I was a fine girl and other harlots wouldn't go with him even for money. And if I wanted, I could even take half the money and leave. Or he'd go with me and we could get married and such. Oh, just poppycock.
Você procurou dinheiro?
Did you go there for a look?
No, I've got better things to do. Obviously he made it up. Where would a layabout like him get so much coin?
Yes, I understand. Did he tell you exactly where he hid it?
He said he buried it at his father's small holding, in the western corner.
All right, thank you.
May the Lord watch over you.
Oi, descarregar apps. Aqui o equipamento dos ganhadores. Pior se precisar de uma pá.
Is someone there? Who's there?
Só acabar. Se não tem uma pá. Esse ferreiro lindo, né?
I'm honored that it...
Tereza. Agora tem uma pá. Vai contar como roubo. Esse armador aqui eu posso deixar no chão. Só vai ter esses lenhados aqui. Porque eu acho que não vai salvar.
Yeah.
Está por subir.
Yeah.
Não dá.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mercado de alquimia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bestar nojento.
Yeah.
I hope I can be of help to you, mate.
I'm looking for Hinek, the courier's son. I hear he sometimes comes here. Have you seen him?
Ricky? Aye. He's here now and again. Best ask Raspberry. He's friends with him.
Who's Raspberry?
You'll spot him easy enough. His face is red as a raspberry.
Rosto vermelho.
Take care now.
Ah, mas nem tá de noite. Eu não consigo dormir aqui.
Good health to you.
Your mates say you know Hinek, the courier's son.
Ricky. Aye, he shows up here sometimes. Why do you ask?
I'm trying to find him.
Good luck then.
What do you mean?
Riki is like some bloody hedgehog, always creeping around in the woods. And just as prickly.
So you see him there often?
More like we don't see him.
Foi a última vez que ele veio aqui.
Has he been here recently?
A few days ago. He came by in the evening, well into his cups. He might have fallen somewhere and broken his neck for all I know.
So he went into the woods?
Aye, like always.
O que ele faz na floresta?
Do you know what he gets up to in the woods?
What do you reckon? Making money. It's no secret he goes poaching.
You're speaking as if that's perfectly legal.
No, that's not allowed. I know. I mean, I think he might be poaching. Maybe he's gathering firewood. No way for me to know, right?
Firewood, of course. I hear Riki has a hideout in the woods somewhere. Do you know where it is?
Aye, I think I was there once.
Think? What does that mean? Either you were there or you weren't.
Well, once me and Hinek had a bit of a drink together here and we ran out of ale. Hinek said he had some stashed away in the woods, so off we went.
But do you remember anything about it? The direction or which path you took?
Aye, I can tell you exactly. We went from the edge of the camp here along the path down to the creek. A little upstream, there's a fallen tree bridging the water. We went across it to the other side, then we went uphill to a big boulder. You have to listen carefully there.
Why?
There's a spring nearby. Someone put a kind of little mill wheel on the stream below it. You can hear it going clap, clap, clap all day and night. Once you find it, you go around the spring and nearby you'll see a clearing. That's where Hiddick's hideout is. It's an old mine gallery, a cave.
Farewell.
Ah, mas isso aqui não vai marcar.
About Hinek.
Aye?
I hear Riki has a hideout in the woods somewhere.
Aye.
You think? What does that mean?
Well, once me...
But do you remember anything about it?
Aye, I can tell you exactly. We went from the edge of the camp here along the path down to the creek. A little upstream, there's a fallen tree bridging the water. We went across it to the other side, then we went uphill to a big boulder. You have to listen carefully there.
Why?
There's a spring nearby. Someone put it... Once you...
Tava quebrado e riacho. Subi no riacho. Tem esses dois caminhos aqui. Deixa eu ver se é aqui. Uma caverna, como eu disse. Não ser uma caverna, então deve ser aqui. Aqui não tem nada, não. Deve ser aqui então.
Yeah.
Ah, nem vi se salvou o jogo.
Jesus Christ, what am I to do? Not that I can expect any use from advice from you. At least, you've no more cares.
Need someone to talk to?
Fuck! Don't kill me. I can explain. I won't tell anyone. I swear, I've no one to tell anyway. Just please don't kill me.
I'm not planning to kill you.
You're not one of Runt's men?
No.
Huh. Then who are you?
Temos inimigo em comum.
That's not important. The important thing is we have a common foe.
Considering all the enemies I have, the odds of that are pretty high.
I'm talking about the gang that raided the Neuhoff stud farm. I know you were there.
I was, but I've got nothing in common with those bastards.
I'll take your word for it, providing you tell me what you know.
I don't know why you should care. If it keeps my neck out of the noose, I'll spill the beans.
That Neuhoff raid of yours didn't turn out quite as planned, did it?
Depends on whose plan you're talking about. We were up to it to grab some loot and bugger off. Only Runt's cutthroats was there to shed blood.
What do you mean, Runt's cutthroats?
There were two gangs there, mine and Runt's. We was only there to steal, but they wanted to slaughter everyone.
But when you realised what they had in mind, you didn't have to go along with it, did you?
But we didn't know nothing, even though we were going to Neuhoff. They told us to keep watch on the courtyard. Well, they were cutting the horses' throats. Jesus, that fucking vexed me. Their horses was the most valuable thing there. When I spoke up, though, Runt gave me such a bollocking I knew I'd better keep my mouth shut. And when they said we was going to kill anything that moved, then we knew there was no going back.
Bando dinâmico. Você conhece alguns dos homens dinâmicos?
Did you know any of Runt's people? Not a one. They didn't talk to us at all. None of their faces was familiar either. The only thing I know is they called that huge chief of theirs Runt, and Pius warned us to watch out for him.
Onde estão Nanico e os outros?
I don't suppose you know where they got to after the raid.
On the way to Neuhof, Timmy told me he was at their camp with Pius. I reckon that's where they've gone now.
Onde ficou o acampamento?
Did Timmy tell you where the camp is?
Somewhere in the woods. He didn't say nothing more. Thing is, Timmy's got quite an imagination. Well, Pius roared at him to shut it, so I reckon there must be something in it.
O ataque de Neuhof. Descreva o ataque em detalhes.
Tell me exactly how the raid went down.
Well, we stormed in from the rear. Runt's people started slaughtering the horses. Jesus, that was bleeding horrible. Meanwhile, me and Limpy had a sniff round the stables to see if we could find anything worth pilfering. In the end, we got lucky.
What did you find?
Smill, Sir Hanish's groom. I don't know why he was up and what he was doing in the stables, but we took advantage of the situation. Limpy grabs him by the throat and I slapped him round to encourage him to tell us where the money was. Then it all fell apart at the seams. Quicker than you'd believe. Runt comes running up and skewers the groom like a pig for roasting. My jaw dropped. I thought the stuff about killing was just tough talk.
And it wasn't?
No, not in the least.
What happened then?
I'm gaping at Smill, stuck through and through, and I noticed this boy standing at the other end of the stables. The stupid sods pointing at us, jaw hanging down to his knees, saying, "I know you." Runt turns to us and hisses, "Take him down." So me and Lubosh start running, because the lad took to his heels. At the same time, you could hear the noise of the skirmish in the courtyard. We caught up with the boy at the next farmhouse. Knock him to the ground, but he bashes me with some piece of iron so hard my head's ringing like a fucking church bell. Limpy grabs it off him and stands over him, with his bodkin in his hand, and I start praying. In the end, Limpy just gives him a kick and says, "Beat it, Ginger." And then Runt shows up at the gate and hollers that we gotta go, so we scarp it.
O que aconteceu após o ataque?
What happened after the raid?
We were waiting for that fool, Timmy. Same place as we met them before, so we'd know where we were, right? Stupid fucking idea. But Pius didn't want to leave him behind. Only when Timmy finally turned up, 2 of Runt's men were dragging him.
There was some difference of opinion?
You could say that, yeah. They started on us right away that we were traitors. They knew we'd let somebody get away, and now we were going to pay for it. They started trying to surround us, and we knew what was coming. But Limpy took his bodkin and let that fucker have it in the belly.
Runt?
One of the others. Timmy broke free from them, and we all took to our heels. Luckily, they were so buggered from the raid, they didn't follow us for long. They just shouted that they'd find us.
Conte-me algo sobre o seu bando.
That gang of yours, what can you tell me about them?
Don't know what you want to know. There was 4 of us. Me, Timmy, Limpy Lubosh, and Pius Pava. Sometimes we'd rob a place or hold up pilgrims. Never nothing fancy.
I'm sure you did mischief enough. Who led you?
Pius. He was the oldest, and he'd mostly find the jobs for us, plan them and the like. He got us into that fucking mess in Neuhof, too.
What about the others?
Timmy's strong as an ox, with a brain to match. You got more sense out of a fence post. And Limpy, I've been with him the longest. He's my one and only friend, I suppose.
E colocou vocês em contato com o Nanico.
Who got your 2 gangs together? You must have made contact somehow, right?
Pius. He comes to us and says he's got this prime job. We're gonna rob a farm, he says. That was a big deal, because mostly we just did small stuff. hold up on the road now and then. Nothing fancy. When they told us how much we could make on it, well, we just couldn't refuse.
So Pius knew them?
I suppose, but I don't know where from. We even got paid up front. I should have known from the start it was too good to be true.
Onde estão o time e Pio?
Where did the rest of your gang end up?
You saw Limpy, right?
Yes, but he's no use to me now. Tell me where I can find Pius or Timmy.
I don't know nothing about Pius. He vanished in the woods, and I haven't seen him since. Timmy, I reckon, went back to the mill where he works.
Which mill?
The windmill a bit north of Neuhof.
That's all I need to know. So now what do I do with you?
Well...
Hey, over here! It's up here.
Oh, shit. Runs people. We've got to get out of here.
They're too close. We'll never outrun them.
Fuck!
At least they get no idea. The two of us can take them by surprise.
No fucking way. I'm gone.
Look here. If you run, they'll catch up with you and kill you. And me too. Together, we stand a better chance.
Jesus Christ. All right. I suppose you're right.
2 contra 3.
Hey, who's there?
3 se morreu.
You'll get that.
That's the end of it. I'll slaughter you. What have we got here? Entertainment. Go back, come back. I'm gonna enjoy this. Well now, look what's come crawling out.
Morreram já. Deixa eu usar isso. Coifo de malhas. Já estou equipado desse. Tem. Cadê o personagem?
I've got some more questions.
What?
Who is this runt? What does he look like? Do you know anything about him?
I never saw him before.
E aí,
He's
tipo,
massive
do
and
FC.
scary as hell. Even his own men are afraid of him.
Did you notice what his sword looked like?
No, it was just a regular sword, I think. Why do you ask?
I think I once had the doubtful honour of meeting that bastard, and he has something that doesn't belong to him. Who is this runt? What does he look like? Do you know anything about him?
I never saw him before, but he's massive and scary as hell. Even his own men are afraid of him.
Did you notice what his sword looked like?
No, it was just a regular sword, I think. Why do you ask?
I think I once had the doubtful honour of meeting that bastard, and he has something that doesn't belong to him. You're coming with me. Sir Radzig and Sir Hanush will want to hear what you've got to say.
I don't suppose there's any chance you might turn a blind eye.
Why should I?
I didn't do nothing all that bad, and I told you everything I know. You can tell them yourself, and leave me here, and in a few weeks I'll pack up and clear off.
Mesmo que não tenha sido um crime grave, quer dizer, foi um crime grave que ele fez com o bando deles.
Nothing bad. How many people were screaming at Neuhoff? Half the stables are burnt down.
I didn't kill no one, and I didn't start no fire neither.
But you had a hand in it, and you wanted to rob them. You could have warned them.
I'm no saint, but surely I don't deserve to hang for that. It was them others.
I don't give a tinker's curse. You were there, you didn't warn anyone, and you helped those murderers, even if it was only for a while. You're going to Ratai with me.
You're condemning me to death. You know that, don't you?
Talvez sejam misericordiosos.
Maybe Sir Hanush will have mercy on you. You've had the devil's own luck so far.
Vamos ver. Ficou preso. Não vai ter nenhum diálogo aqui. Tá, deixa eu ver. Cortejo, torneio. Eu tenho que descer de Talmberg pra cá. Tem que dormir também. Acho que eu vou dormir e depois continuo o jogo.
Hey, lad! Don't you want a little wager on the Ratte tourney? Acho que deve ter salvado. Bom, acho que é isso. Vou encerrar essa live por aqui. Se você gostou dessa live e quiser ver mais, é só me seguir no meu canal aqui no YouTube ou na Twitch. Bom, acho que é isso. Até a próxima live.